happy holidays, everyone. How's everyone doing? Doing well? Doing well? How is everybody? Are you off for Christmas? Is this the last day? Or what? You hanging out at work? Blowing off work? Merry Christmas to you, Nick. Don is doing great. Very good. Kevin Newman is at work. Very good, Kevin. You guys working till Friday? You off? Caesar's doing great. Very cool car there. Happy to actually catch a live stream. Tom, that's awesome. It's good to have you here. Happy holidays. Louie, my boy. Looking good in that cowboy hat, Louie. Merry, excuse me. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah to all my Jewish friends. Right in the middle of Hanukkah, which is cool. Working today. Jay Carrick, 1977. That was 1976. Long time ago. By the way, this is like the best thing ever. It's so good. I wish I was sponsored by A&W. That would be cool. Randy Bahina, happy holidays, everyone. Hope you all get audio gear for Christmas. That would be cool. Stig, good evening from Norway. Hey, brother. I so want to go over there someday. Up there in your neck of the woods. That would be so awesome. Bob Marley, Randy, did you see my advice? I did not. What type of advice do you have? Kev at the VA. Hey, man, keep up the good work. Appreciate you. What up to you? Hey, Feliciano. Nick is at work fixing a beautiful old Macintosh MC30. All hand-wired points-to-point beauty. When they are amp, were made well. Yeah. I agree. I just found and picked up a quad 303 plus quad 34 combo. Very cool. Hey, Kay, Money, what's happening? Hey, let's do shout-outs. Where are y'all from? We got Norway. We got Cedar Hill, Texas. Got an AIMA A09 and a Schiit deck. Thanks, Cam. Thank you. Great choices. You're the great dude. Shine on. Lithuania with you, man. Very awesome. Very, very awesome. Hey there. Taylorville, Illinois. Baltimore. Wow, Pakistan. That is awesome. Charleston, South Carolina. Anaheim. Boston. St. Louis. All right. Michigan. Chi-Town. Washington State. Cleveland. Salt Lake City, Utah. Ooh, I bet it's beautiful in Salt Lake City right now. Will you watch the Miley Cyrus and Dolly Parton show? Portland, Oregon, for what it's worth. Probably not. But it sounds like an interesting show. Merry Christmas. My first live chat. I've always missed all the other ones. Glad to be here watching from Sunshine Coast, British Columbia, Canada. Awesome. Merry Christmas, one and all. Webwood, Ontario. Very nice. Our Canadians in here. Well represented. North Carolina. Owasso, Oklahoma. Another Canadian. Got the iFi Zen Phono amp based on your advice. Very cool. That's a good Phono amp. Ooh, Naperville. I used to work at a company based in Naperville. New Jersey, another Canadian, West Palm Beach. And season's greetings from Boston to Texas. Very nice. Prescott Valley. Got my first system, SSCS5 and T9 from Phoenix. My parents live over there. North Pole. Awesome, James. Talk to the big guy in the red suit. You guys getting fired up? Canadian and Mexico. Ooh, I want to go to Mexico. Not to be Debbie downed. Just want to see you to see a doctor about neck. What about my neck? It's looking out for me. Like this? What about it? I am going to the doctor, though. Rhode Island. Hefe. Spent a summer in Rhode Island. Ohio. New Zealand. Bithlow. I don't know where that's at. Derby, Kansas. Another South Carolinian. Baltimore. Another Baltimore. Computer Hi-Fi. Is there such a thing? Oh, and Fort Worth, Texas. What up? Fort Worth in the house. Computer Hi-Fi. Is there such a thing? I don't know. Like, I mean, you can hook up all sorts of things to your computer via USB. Make a nice system. Riverside, California. Georgia. Somewhere in Ohio. Hanford, California. Milky Way. Ooh, I bet the view from there is awesome. No Miley for me. I used to live in Naperville, Illinois. Very cool. I am in Naperville. Very cool. Just got new Kef LS50s delivered today. Still in box. Ooh, Bob. Fun. That sounds fun. Des Moines. Or no, Des Plaines. Sorry. Lawndale, Cali. Nashville. Let's see. Nash Vegas, Texas. Oh, very cool. All right. Have you seen anything about the new streamer by Holo Audio called Red Pi based linear power supply DDC, all for $800? No, I haven't seen it. It sounds interesting. A bit outside of the channel. I don't know where we feel comfortable. What's the Discord link? I'll post it in Patreon. San Diego. Cummings, Georgia. All right, just got the ELAC from Alan. Unify 2.0. What amp will properly power them on the cheap? Ooh, on the cheap. It depends on what your definition of cheap is. If you're looking for an integrated, you can't go wrong with the Emotiva. What is it? T1 Plus. Yeah, that one's pretty good. I don't know if I would throw Class D on that. I don't know. I mean, like the Crown Drive Core, probably get them up and going. I think they want a little AB goodness, though. Who did you work for in Naperville? A company called Nalco. They're not around anymore, though. Or they've been bought by, I don't know. There's a chemical company. Hi from San Jose, California. Love your reviews. Thank you, Robert. I love you. Merry Christmas, Steven. Merry Christmas. Your left side, probably nothing, but don't forget to ask. All right, left side. This? Yeah. I'll go get it checked out. No expert here, but I am a nurse. Cool. My daughter's a nurse. Slovenia. What up, Marco? Technically, anything Class D is computer hi-fi. Albany. I about said Albania. Albany, Georgia. Nick, if you get a chance, check out the Tavish Classic Phono Pre. It's about $700 now, I believe. But it's fantastic. Runs any cartridge with ease. Designer has a PhD in electrical engineering. His name, Scott Reynolds. I always love that. It's like, and I'm not saying that electrical engineers aren't, I don't know, talented. The irony is that most of the stuff, or some of the stuff that I really love, guy just learned it on his own. So I get it. I love when people get in the comments and say, I'm an electrical engineer, and it's like they have to give their resume. I like it. Two bass, by the way. All right. Marcus. Thanks, Randy. You have been an enormous help with my first system. I don't have the J2. Ooh, good choice. 2 Wing Minis based solely on your recommendation. Good. Awesome. What's the Discord link? I'll post it in the Patreon. Vintage over cheap modern audiophile tech at the same price point. Which do you prefer? Well, that's an interesting question. I think all things created equal, if, and this is a big if, the vintage is in good, working, reliable condition, you get a lot of value. The problem is you're never guaranteed that it's going to be in good working condition. There's no warranty on it. And at any point, it can just freak out and decide not to work anymore. So there's peace of mind with new stuff. Vintage stuff can be awesome, but you run a risk. Not Discord, Patreon. Patreon.com/cheapaudioman. John Scrow. I ordered the SMSL C200 and waiting for delivery. All the reviews seem to be good. Have you used it? I'm using HD660S. No, I haven't. I haven't listened to that one. Stephen Calvert, $10. Thank you, Stephen. Emotiva P21 versus PT1 versus PT2. Any drawbacks on getting the integrated versions if I plan on trying different amps in the future? Would they waste power as preamps? Thanks for all the content. I don't know. I don't think they probably draw that much power unless you have, well, speakers and a load hooked up to them. If you know you're going to go separate amps, then go for one of the preamps. The difference between the PT1 and PT2 is you get better bass management with the PT2. You get more analog inputs. And then you also have a home theater bypass, I believe, on the PT2, which is cool if you have like a whole stack and you want to run a separate 2-channel versus what you have going on with your home theater. But they're both great. If you don't need, because everything else is the same. Like it's the same DAC, same phono preamp, same tuner. Everything is the same. So unless you need the extra analog inputs, and unless you need more, I don't know, better bass management, let's go for the PT1 and save some money. They're both awesome, though. And thank you for the super chat, Steven. I know them well. I don't know who you know well, Ed. Happy holidays, everyone. Happy to catch the stream today from Akron, PA. Very nice. James Walls, on your advice, this Christmas got Nagaoka. Ooh, MP110. I need to hook this back up. I think I need a little bit of Nagaoka goodness in my life. Cambridge AXA 35. Ooh, I love that amp. So warm and lush. Makes no apologies. Schiit Modi Plus and Shelly J2. Why'd you get 2 DACs? Anyway, that sounds like a heck of a system. Very nice. Very nice. Another Naperville, Illinois resident. Man, you guys should get together and have a meetup. Bought several products after watching your videos. Happy holidays. Thank you. Maybe so. Bob's got a J2 on the way. Nick says, I'm a double E, and yeah, can be obnoxious, LOL. So I used to work in industrial stuff, in oil and gas. And it was always hilarious to hear all the engineers get into little arguments. It's like they have to be right. And darn it, they get to say their piece because they're an engineer. It's so funny. Like I have a buddy who's a civil engineer, and like he's always leading with, I'm a civil engineer. And I think it's great because if you get through school, that's something to be proud of. The Patreon is just patreon.com/cheapaudioman. There you go. Looks like a Schiit Modi Multi 2 dropped today for some more orders. Yeah, I had a great time with him down in Corpus, and he was talking about the Modi multi-bit, and that is going to be available very too. Louis Sipes says, check out Darlington Labs. Hoffman Forum has a long thread. If there's one guy, what was that one commercial? It was a financial commercial, and they say when so and so talks, people listen, and that's what I feel about Louis. When Louis Sipes talks, I'm listening. I'm a credit analyst, and in my professional opinion, the Wing Pro is worth the upgrade. Very nice. I'm an idiot YouTuber, and I say the same thing. That's what I should always lead with. I'm an idiot YouTuber and ... Bifrost 264 review coming. I don't have it, although I think they're sending me the new Magni, the new Modi, the Lear. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Edward G. Oh my goodness, we missed you on the Christmas, on the holiday gift exchange, and you owe Louis that thing that you said you're going to give out. So I can give you his address. It's good to see you, man. Are you done for the year? Are you still working? Are you in a steel mill? Legion Capone, one Capone. Anyone that has a tube amp that can run KT77 tubes, I highly recommend the Gold Line KT77. One of the best all-around tubes I've had in my system to date. Try it out. Very cool. It's so good. Root beer is so good. Louis shouting out Ed. Hey brother, love your channel and your watch one too. Man, I haven't posted a watch video in a while because Cheap Audio Man has been just going awesome. Like November and December, by far the best months ever in the channel's history. So I don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to go start posting stuff on my watch channel that has, I don't know, 5,000 subscribers or whatever it is. Check out the Micro Watch Company, Monterey Watch Company. Great looking timepieces. Would love to see a review of them. Very cool. I'm getting back into it in January. I'm working them back into the workflow. All right. The best test of your stuff is what you listen to the most. Agree? Yeah. I mean, like, why test it if you're not, like, if you're like in a metal or grunge, rock and roll, like, what's the point of testing classical music on it or jazz or whatever it is? Because you're not going to use it for that. So get the right tool for the right job. So yes, I would agree. Agree. John Shepler, my brother from snowy Iowa. John missed Ed too. We all missed you, Ed. My goodness, maybe I shouldn't have gotten a root beer for the stream. Nalco, that's right. That's who I worked for. That was my first job out of the Navy. It was awesome. Not the job, but the hiring it was really cool. I ended up flying out there on my birthday, and it was March. I didn't wear a coat, and I had this suit on, right? So wearing this suit, I got out of, I believe it was O'Hare, or maybe I can't remember, it was Midway or O'Hare. I got out and I went to get a cab. Well, they were supposed to send me a car, and they never sent me a car. So I called them and they're like, just get a cab over here and we'll reimburse you. So I went to get a cab, and there was just a long line, like probably 40 cabs. And I went to get into it. Well, apparently I was at the wrong place. And I'm a farm kid from Nebraska, and then I've been in the Navy the whole time. So I don't think I'd ever ridden in a cab. Anyway, you were supposed to get the cab at the front of the line, and then they're all in order. And it was freezing. And there's no sidewalk. Like, I completely got out the wrong area. But then it was my birthday, and I got hired that day. It was really cool. Very cool. I just received an email from Schiit saying that my warranty repair was complete. Great company to work with. This was for my son's Fola. Do you know what's just so silly? Is I was down there, and Jason Stoddard mentioned Fola, and it finally dawned on me, Fola Schiit. And I'm like, how silly have I been that I didn't get that joke until today? E.F. Hutton, that's who it was. That's right. When somebody talks, they listen. Have you considered reviewing the Project Speakerbox S2? I think I already did. I don't know. There's two of them. Yeah, I'm positive I did. Anyway, I reviewed one Project. Great speaker. I loved it. My second DAC, the Just Shelly J2 from my main Macintosh system. Ooh, baby. All right, let's see if we have any super chats. Holy Toledo. We've had a lot of comments. Matt G, thanks, man. We'll be pestering the Discord and Facebook groups with questions. Just a heads up. Matt, the great thing about our community, the Cheap Audio Man community, is there are the kindest, most giving people in there that will help you out however they can. It is an amazing community. And I don't just say that because it's my community, our community, but they're just great people. Absolutely fantastic people. You did the S2. They also have a D2. Okay. I haven't talked to them for a while. I need to reach out. Ramon Delgado. Greetings from Chicago. Have you seen the Emotiva Bass X A2M? It's down to $249. Wow. That's a really great deal. Yes, it is. Great content lately. Lord Randall. Merry Christmas. You know what's funny is I don't know if that's like a reference to established titles. I talked to the guy that runs the PR firm that represents them. We talked about established titles. Joel Beasley, congrats on the channel, Randy. 2 years and counting. Yeah, October was 2 years. Yeah. Merry Christmas, Gregory Petros. I used to work with a guy. I can't remember what his first name was. His last name was Petros, though. Maybe it was Greg. I think it was Greg Petros. Did I work with you at Amatech? Spend $100, save $50, or is it worth it? At Emotiva? Yeah. Ooh, good question. What's your car audio setup look like? So it's just a stock system now. But previous to this, I had a company car, and I did upgrade the speakers, and then I put amps underneath the seats. And come to think of it, I never took those amps out when I turned that car in. So someone's getting a decent system. But the one I have now is just a stock system. I don't want to start tearing it up. You know what I mean? My previous car that my son drives now is a Toyota Sequoia. And I had 4 amps in there, huge 2 12-inch subs in the back. I mean, it was awesome. And he loves it, obviously. Wow, it's been 2 years. Yeah, time flies when you're having fun. Thank you, Randy. Yep, October 19th, 2020 was my first video. I'm full of Schiit is the name it shows as a USB device. That's so cool. My son laughed a lot about that. That's awesome. They're really fun company. And that video was really fun to make, but also it was great to get to know them. And like, I knew kind of their philosophy, but it was great to get to know them and hear it from Jason. And, what a great company. John Caruso, $20. Oh, thank you, my friend. Merry Christmas to one of my favorite YouTubers. Merry Christmas to you, John. I hope you and your family enjoy the holidays. Nice Toyota. It's a 2005, and that thing refuses to die. It is just a beast. A 2005 Sequoia. It gets like 3 miles to the gallon now. It's a beast, though. And my son loves it. He loves that car. Loves it. 2005 Toyota Sequoia. Sorry, I love to share deals. Schiit has the original Vidar in the closeout section for $5.99. Wow. That's a great deal, too. Did the frame need to be replaced? No. Did not, Ed. Original frame. That would be a heck of a job. Like, I don't know why. That car is not worth enough to change anything on it. Was tempted to get the tiers, but at 55 pounds a piece, I won't. It's another direction. Yeah. That's old school heavyweight amplification fire. It seems like you guys could be real buddies, the chat people. Some of them are buddies because a lot of them are patrons. So yeah, for sure. They are buddies. Hey, I got a question. What can I do better next year? Like, anything you'd like to see from the channel, um, that I could do differently that you'd like to see? I was tempted to get the tier. Okay, we already read that one. In the Midwest, they had to do Land Cruisers and Sequoias under warranty. Huh. Yeah. I haven't heard the airbags they do. I get a letter every day, and I keep telling my son you need to take it in and get your airbag replaced. There's a recall. Be more full of shit. All right. Maybe good places to buy used gear. Yeah, that is a good idea. I hesitate to do actual reviews on specific used gear because no one's guaranteed to get the same one. However, where to buy them is a great idea. Mike Osmond. I used to have a buddy named Mike Osmond. Gotten a lot of gear on your advice. T9 and Weem were great. Thank you. Per your review of the Pioneer 305 AV receiver, what AVRs you feel pair well with vintage Klipsch heresies for both music and movies? Excuse me. You know, AVR, and thank you, Mike, for the $20. AVRs, I haven't always had great luck with AVRs as far as music. A lot of times I feel like they're pretty dry and they just don't have much personality. The cool thing with AVRs though is almost always they have the higher end ones almost always have some type of EQ in there. So you can and a lot of times you can save different things like different EQ settings. So you can turn that on with your music if you want to. So with that said, I mean, there's a lot of functionality and freedom with an AVR, but straight out of the box, just level. I find the AVRs that sounded the best with music tended to be Marantz receivers. That was my experience. However, I have the VLX, the fancy Pioneer one. It's like $1,000. I have that one. And I ran Dirac, and it does sound really good with music. However, again, it's too forward in the mid-range. So I back it down a little bit. So, yeah, that's what I do. All right. John Payne, $10. Thank you so much. What is your favorite integrated with Unify 5.2? Love your show. Thank you so much. And thank you for the super chat. I like the Emotiva. The Emotiva stuff is like it's neutral enough, but it also has some personality. Kind of punchy, good top end. I wouldn't say it's V-shaped, but it's got a little bit more guts on the bottom end. So for integrateds, and to be fair, I haven't had a ton of experience with a lot of integrateds, but the Unifies do need a little bit of juice. I think the TA1, TA2, great options. I was supposed to get an audio lab in, but it never came to fruition. I think the A11 from, was it Rotel? When you put on one of their kind of loudness settings, I think that would be a great match. The Unifies are very neutral, though. So they can use a little bit of personality through your amp or your DAC or something like that. I like Emotiva. The A11 is good, but I would put it into one of the, it's not really a bass boost. It's just kind of a loudness control. Outside of that, I haven't had a ton of experience with, Yamaha. Yamaha, again, would pair well if you're using the loudness control. Otherwise, it seems a little bit too dry for me, like stock. But one of the reasons why you get a Yamaha is because you have that variable loudness control. So I think a Yamaha AS, probably maybe 501, 701 would be great. I mean, even a 301 puts out 60 watts. I need to hook that up. I'm going to hook my 301 back up and listen to that. More DIY kits like Akatika, something like Sun Valley make some stellar kits. Phono line set. That would be fun. I think the plan is to do a live stream where I build. So I have the CSS Tories, and I already built one of them, but I was going to build the other one. I'm like, hey, how cool would it be to do a live stream and build the speaker during the live stream, like a super long live stream? I think that would be a lot of fun. Billy Gray needs to bounce. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you, Billy. Marantz AVRs are warm and smooth. Also smooth out my vocals. Yeah, I like Marantz AVRs when it comes to a music. All right. Bought an Onkyo S282 for $40, powering a pair of Sony's, whatever the heck, bookshelves. Couldn't even consider it hi-fi. Of course it's hi-fi, man. But your videos about DAX got me into your channel. Love it. It's hi-fi, man. Hi-fi, man. No pun intended. Yeah. Don't ever let anybody tell you it's not hi-fi. Oh, yummy. All right. Yes, a live build. If you schedule it and link the kit, I'd even try following. Well, the crossover is interesting. I mean, if you're not used to soldering, you should practice up a little bit, because you can make a mess of things. Not you specifically. Anybody can make a mess of things if they're not used to soldering. So yeah. Took months, but I fully refurbished an old Marantz 220B receiver, running it now into my Tectons. Vintage and new gear can be a great pairing. I agree. I love vintage receivers. But again, I haven't had a vintage receiver come in that hasn't had a few quirks. Are they deal breakers? Not really. But there's always a few quirks that's gone on with all of my gear. All of it. Every piece of vintage stuff I've had has something quirky about it. If someone says it's not hi-fi, just kick him in the... Yeah. I might advise against that. You don't want to assault somebody, but you can always give them the middle finger. Ed's got to jump. Happy Christmas. All right, we got some spam. Our first spammer of the day. All right, got him. All right, Louis says, Merry Christmas, Ed. Any word on the middle school kids that built the speaker you reviewed a while back? I haven't talked to their teacher for a while. I think they're good. They're doing a online radio station, which I did a mention for. And actually, Matt and Bob from Austin, they have the number one morning show in Austin. They actually were kind enough to do the promo for me. So it was really cool. I thought it was really cool to have some true radio pros introduce the junior high kids radio station. I always thought it was awesome. It was very good. Very good. If you guys aren't in the Austin area, obviously most of you aren't, you can listen to their show. It's a great show, man. They live stream from their website. I can't remember what their radio station is. Let's look it up. Mornings with Matt and Bob. Here it is. All right, let me share my screen. Boop. There we go. Mornings with Matt and Bob. It is 93.7 KLBJ, the Rock of Austin. I'll put this in the chat. You guys should check them out, even if listen to them. Boop. There we go. Love to use it. So that's Chewy right here. That's my boy Bob, and that's my boy Matt. Great guys. They were kind enough. They had me on a show in Austin in person at a comedy club, and I was one of the guests. It was so much fun. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Ed owns a pair of Emotiva B1 Plus speakers. The Optimus Pro XL4 has been semi-retired. Thanks for your review of the B1 Plus. That got me to get them. Happy holidays. Hey, man, happy holidays to you, brother. I hope you have a great and very relaxing time with yourself or your loved ones. Sometimes you can't have a nice, relaxing time with your loved ones, but it's still a lot of fun. What about a bottle head kit? I actually think I have one on the shelf over there. It's put together though. The More Play Pre that Steve G reviewed looks killer. Just a suggestion. Oh, thank you, Nick. That sounds awesome. Ooh, movie junkie John. Have any sub $400 receiver recommendations for home audio and movies? I have a 4K player, Sony sub, Yamos Tower, and Fluence RT82 turntable. Need receiver. That's an area that I haven't really played in because when the channel was kind of growing in the beginning, you couldn't get a receiver. It was during COVID, and so all the receivers were gone. I think I did one review on a Denon that was about $350. But I don't have a lot of experience with receivers, period, and even less experience with receivers under $400. So sorry, man, I just don't. But normally this time of year, sometimes they're moving out the old models for the new ones. So, look at Denon, Marantz. If you can find a Marantz, and here's the thing too, you may be able to find a decent Marantz on the used market. So, yeah, for $400, you could probably find something a couple years old. Now, it may not have the latest and greatest HDMI stuff, but if you're just looking for something to kind of bridge the gap for a few years, I would put that $400 to something used when it comes to a receiver. Worst case scenario, you could optical out of your TV. You may lose multi-channel pass-through, but you can also just let your receiver do the multi-channel and then dial it into how you like it. The irony here is that even though you're using HDMI for multi-channel, a lot of times if you look at the actual device that is going into the receiver, it's set at PCM, which is 2-channel. So a lot of times you have to go in there and reset it. And most people are running their source PCM, and then the receiver is actually doing some of the heavy lifting, which I always find interesting. Dan, $10. Thank you. My first live chat. Love the channel. Question: can you amp roll the IEMA A08 Pro? Happy holidays. I'm assuming you're talking about like op amp roll. I don't know. I haven't opened it up. A07, I know you can do for sure. The A08, I was just enjoying it just the way it is. A08 Pro. I know you can roll the op amps on the A08, the original. But there's 3 op amps in their A08 original. So I don't know. But thank you, Dan, so much for the $10. A07 original, I know you can roll. A08 original, I know you can roll. A08 Pro, I don't know. Steven Sifrit, $10. Thank you so much, brother. Randy, thanks for your reviews. I now have a nice system to enjoy. The first since the 90s. Awesome. I got the Sonys. Love them. The 70s Audio or Techniques SA5370. I had an SU 7300 amp in college. Merry Christmas. That's awesome. Isn't it fun to kind of go back and like rekindle your joy after maybe the kids are out of the house, or at least it's just fun to go back and kind of, I don't know, start that fire again. All right. I don't know what your name is. I'm going to call you Mr. X. Mr. X, thank you so much for the super chat. Hey there, great channel. I have a Headphone XS and topping DX3 Pro Plus combo. That is so funny you mentioned that because I have the Headphones right there. I did a bunch of door prizes we do an annual holiday party for my patrons. Anyway, that was one of the door prizes, was the DX3 Pro Plus. Anyway, it's going out the door probably tomorrow. Would you recommend a better headphone DAC amp for the Edition XS and the same price price range, or is the topping DX3 Pro Plus sufficient? So that's a great question, because I think the DX3 Pro Plus is just as good as the step up, whatever DAC amp they have. I think it is. You're obviously not in the US. My choice for DAC amps, headphone amps, is Gishelli Labs and then Schiit, but you probably don't have access to those. I'll tell you what's really good, and you can actually use it with the Pro Plus, is an X Duo. So you can look at the X Duo MT602. I think that's $100, and you can start messing with tubes, and then you can just use this as a DAC. You might want to do that. It's a Class A headphone amp with a tube buffer, and it sounds great, super powerful. For $100, you can keep using the DAC in here and then get kind of a different flavor for a headphone amp. So you can look at that. But most of the Chinese topping, SMSL, Loxg, most of those sound really good. They're really clean. I think what a lot of those headphone amps lack is some personality and some soundstage and imaging and things like that. X Duo, though, when you're using a tube buffer, you do get some more, I don't know, it becomes more 3D-ish versus just clean power. So yeah, X Duo, I look at the X Duos. I think that would be a pretty inexpensive way to kind of get a bit of a different sound. So I hope that helps. Man, the super chats are rolling. Ruben Arzwaga. That's a cool name, man. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and your family. Thank you. Ooh, bought the Polka R700s. What do you recommend I use for monoblock amps? It depends on your budget. So the A1 monoblocks, a pair of those comes in around $900. I believe the R700s are 8 ohm, somewhat efficient. So you could get a pair of Vidars and use those as monoblocks. You could also get a pair of Ager, use those as monoblocks from Schiit. Outside of that, you could also get the topping LA90. That's expensive though. So you're running some bucks. It sounds like the Vidar first gen is on sale for $600. So you get a pair of those for $1,200. You can get a pair of A1s from Emotiva for $900. And then outside of that, I don't have a ton of experience with monoblocks. But the A1s have become like my reference monoblock, or my reference amps, really, at this point. So that's what I use pretty much all the time when I'm listening to anything. Wow. Trying to get Parks Puffin in UK, no success. Any rivals you recommend? Let's see. For DSP, as far as phono amps, no, I don't, unfortunately. The Project Tube Box something is really good sounding phono preamp, but obviously no DSP. So unfortunately, I don't have any recommendations for that. That would be anything similar to the Puffin. Unfortunately, I'm sure there's stuff out there. I just don't have any experience with it. Is there a list of all your reviews? I stumbled onto one after I'd purchased another of your recommendation and was torn on whether I had made the right choice. Like a list of all of them? No, you'd have to go back and just kind of scroll through all of them. If you go to my page and then just click on videos, you can kind of scroll back in chronological order. I do have some playlists, but I haven't been doing a very good job of like categorizing things within the playlists. So yeah, unfortunately, you just kind of have to wade through them all. And the other thing is, the first year of the channel, I hadn't listened to as much stuff as I've obviously listened to now. So what I would do is I would look back on like the last year of reviews, because that's when I've had the most experience. And I've also grown as a reviewer to where like I'm not saying this is crap and this one's better, because my opinion, my what I like in music isn't what everybody else likes. So I've gotten better as a reviewer, I think. So I would start within the last year, but there's a list. It's on YouTube though, and you got to kind of wade through them because we have over 600 videos now. That's a lot of videos to get through. Anyone know where to find replacement pads for Hi-Fi-Man Anandas? I don't. I've used Brainwaves, but I don't know if they have a direct replacement for the Anandas. Brainwaves. You can get them on Amazon. They also have their own website. Bought a lot of pads from them. It's the magic feature I'm looking for. Yeah. So there have been products like that in the past that kind of like cover up clicks and pops and stuff. I don't know, though. In the UK, especially. I don't know, unfortunately. Could you comment on the X Duo TA20 hybrid tube amp? Still deciding to upgrade from X Duo MT604 or not? The kids are getting a little excited. I don't have any experience with the TA20. I like the MT604. I don't love there's 2 volume controls on it. Don't love it. So, yeah. Randy's almost positive he's watched every episode. My goodness. Deconi might. That's right. Deconi might. Any reason to get the Puffin versus a Mani 2 when most of my vinyl will be really clean? It depends, man. Excuse me. Because you have tone controls. So here's a great example. I don't know if you can see it. Let me get back here. All right. So right there is the Papa A1. It's a Phono preamp with tone controls. So I was listening to, well, actually it's still on there, Rush. So I was listening to this record today. This record sounds terrible. It's super dry. It seems like the dynamic range is just crushed into the middle. No real lows. No real highs. So I did a little tone controls and it sounded great. Now you don't get that with the Mani. You don't get any tone controls. Now, if you have tone controls on your preamp or your amplifier, it doesn't really matter. But I just kind of dialed it in right up here. And that record sounded at least listenable. So I don't know if that really answers your question. But when you have the Puffin, you have an awful lot of options. If you just listen to most of your records and they're fine the way they are, probably not. You probably don't need it because you already like the way they sound. If you're like me, some records could use a little bit of livening up, then tone controls on a preamp, Phono preamp is good. But if you have tone controls on your amplifier, then maybe you don't need them. So I don't know if that makes sense. Puffin's quite a bit more expensive than the Mani 2, but it also has a lot more features. Jeff Winnie, $25. Thank you, Jeff. Happy holidays to you and the family and all the Cam fans. We call it the Cam fam too, Cam family. I just upped my game with a pair of Sonus Fabers. Ooh, baby. But I'm always looking for great quality, affordable gear. Looking forward to a great 2023 with y'all. Man, thank you, Jeff. I think 2023 is going to be awesome. Oh my goodness. We've been doing this for 48 minutes already. Mike Strahan, as your Schiit owner myself, also look at Darlington Labs. There you go. Thank you. I think it does. My friend in Belgium who pointed me to this channel pointed out its room adjustments too. Very cool. The JBL 530 Batman speakers you reviewed forever ago are down to $239. Yeah, they've really, that would really make me mad because they are kind of perpetually on sale at this point. And I can only imagine if somebody spent like $450 on those. And then now all of a sudden the new price is just $239. I'd be a little bit miffed about that. However, people that are getting into this can get a pretty decent speaker for $239. I wish they had more bass. They soundstage and image well. Actually, I have the A130 stage A130s. Let's see. I think they're over there. Right there. So I have the stage A130s. They're the ones with the white woofer. And I actually kind of prefer them over the 530s, which isn't like, I often prefer the cheaper ones over the more expensive ones. Scott Baylor, no reason to apologize. It sounds like you had a better afternoon. Your time's probably better spent taking a nap than hanging out on the live stream with me. So no apologies. I'm not sure what this is about. Why do I need a name? Not like I'm using this account for producing content. Is that your actual name? That's clever. Wondering if you know about a decent under $300 US option for upgrade over. Micah. Is that RB42 or MB42? Looking for more bass. I'm using an A07 with a 48 volt 7 amp. Ooh, and a near field desktop application. Ooh, bassy speakers. I think it's the, okay, so the X stands for crossover. Okay. The Yamo S, well, if you can swing it, the C93 2s, a lot more bass. That might be a little hot for you, though, close up and in the near field. S803s, more bass too than those. I think even the Sony SSCS5s are going to have more bass. The ELAC PS41's definitely going to have more bass. Yeah. Michael Boudreaux. There's a list, but Randy isn't checking it twice. That's right. Jeff, please hit the like button. Yeah. It's a little late now because we're getting ready to wrap up here in about 8 minutes. But yeah, hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button yet. Vet Tech Audio. As a matter of fact, I hooked up my Kenwood tape deck last night to this IEMA setup and had to crank some Van Halen 1984. Ooh, I need to get my cassette deck working. That would be cool. Ooh, I'm getting so hungry. I also threw in an old Kenwood Spectrum EQ. That's awesome. I have a TIAC and a Realistic EQ. They're both a little bit beat up. The TIAC just has one channel out, and I haven't messed with it enough to get it going. The Realistic works, but it's pretty beat up. With the Tube T10 and SMSL SU9 regular version. Very cool. Filbert, $5. Thank you. Hey, Randy, greetings from Austin. What's up, fellow Texan? I love the channel. I just wanted to send some holiday cheer. All the best to you and the family in 2023. Thank you, man. The same to you. I hope you have a great holiday season with your loved ones or by yourself. Hey, I saw a really awesome show. It is The Recruit on Netflix. He's a CIA. It's really addictive. It's a little bit lighthearted, but it's also really good too. I binged watched it over 3 or 4 days. Really awesome. The Recruit. It got to the last episode. I'm like, what? It's kind of a cliffhanger ending to it. The Recruit. Pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, I'm running some old Mitsubishi tower speakers from 84 with my IEMA A07. Sounds awesome. I love it when I hear people using like speakers from the 80s and 90s. Mike, thanks for all you do. It's been helpful and informative. No suggestions for doing something different. Happy holidays to you and your fam. Be sure to take time for yourself. Thank you. I have trouble doing that. I can't like relax. I always feel like I should be doing something else. But yeah, I'm trying to do better. Like I'm trying to watch shows now. Any holiday traditions the Cheap Audio Man family does? Not really. outside of spending an enormous amount of money on presents. That seems to be a recurring theme. No, not really. I mean, we have a nice dinner on Christmas. We're trying to start something for Christmas Eve, like a specific type of food or something. Like, but no, we don't really do any weird traditions or unique traditions. When I grew up, we always had soup and sandwiches on Christmas Eve. And then we'd get to open one present. Oftentimes Santa would also come that evening somehow. Somehow. We'd always go to church too on Christmas Eve. And I was always hoping, like, fingers crossed, Santa's coming to our house while we're at church. Happened a couple of times. But soup and sandwiches are about the only tradition that we ever did. Oh, we do Elf on the Shelf now. Yeah, for my kids. She's been flying all over the house. Frankie J, $5. Thank you so much. Frankie, another Frank. Merry Christmas, Randy. I take you for someone who would have a sophisticated coffee setup. Video idea. It's so interesting you say that, because I was just talking to my wife today about like leveling up our because we don't have a sophisticated. We just have a straight up, drip coffee maker. But I was like, you know what? Maybe we should get like one of those fancy espresso makers, and that would be cool. The problem is they're super expensive. Super expensive. Nick, $4.99. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to the Randy family. Thank you so much. And to the same to you, my friend. I hope you guys have a great holiday season. All right, 4 minutes. Feliciano, 1999. You're so kind, buddy. All right, we got another block user. Those bastards. Merry Christmas. And does your wife have favorite speakers, amp setup? No. She's got a sound bar in her room. Our room. I used to have a full setup in there, but it got a little bit. Why can't I delete this comment? That's weird. It got a little bit complicated when I'd be out of town. Sometimes she'd have some issues with it, so I just put a sound bar in there. On coffee, we're a huge fan of the Breville Barista. Yes, it's money, but love it. I'll have to check it out. Automatic coffee makers are great. My wife is on her second one. It lasted 15 years. Wow. That's awesome. Breville Precision Brewer. I was actually looking at like some, I can't remember what it is. Brad Pitt's doing a commercial for him. What is it? I can't remember the name of it. They were expensive though. They were like $1,000, but you just push a button and it does everything. And so I don't know. I mean, the ROI on it, if you go to Starbucks a lot or specialty coffee places, there's a legit return on investment and some value there. Problem is I'm not fancy when it comes to coffee. I just do drip coffee and I drink it. I go to coffee shops occasionally, but most of the time I just drink coffee at home. So I'm having a hard time like rationalizing an expensive coffee machine. And I can see myself spending a bunch of money on the coffee machine and then doing it for like 3 or 4 days and be like, oh, this is really good. But see, I want another cup of coffee, and then I have to wait for that cup of coffee and then probably clean it out. And I'll be like, this is for the birds. I'm going back to my drip coffee machine. Oh, DeLonghi, that's what it is. Absolutely. DeLonghi. That's what I was looking at. Dak 2800. Enjoy the new year. You too, my friend. You too. All right, we're going to call it. If there's any ladies in here, ladies and gentlemen, mostly gentlemen, I hope all of you have an absolute fantastic holiday if you get some time off. Listen to some music, hug your family, be thankful for what you have, and be safe. Please, please, please be safe. If you're enjoying some libations, get an Uber or have somebody else drive you. So yeah, if you're depressed, reach out to somebody. There's no shame in being depressed during this time. Todd T, my brother, love espresso. Got a Philips super automatic machine, super easy. Just add beans and water. A little pricey, about $600, but worth it. Yeah, Todd, I'm thinking about throwing some money at this coffee thing, but again, not quite there yet. Anyway, I love you all. Thank you so much for all of your support of the channel. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your generosity with super chats. Have a great Christmas, Hanukkah, holiday season, whatever you celebrate, and be good. I think we'll probably do another one of these next week too. But y'all be good. Enjoy the holidays. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you.